Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Look at that. You did it. You turned on the stream.
Yeah, he was showing me how to do something. Welcome to our show, What Works for Us. I'm Anita, and this is my husband, Travis.
Travis.
And,
You like this one or this one? I like
maybe-
this one. I like this one because YouTube makes things darker by
fine.
default. And I'll leave it up just in case. So what are we doing today?
Today, we're talking about our Africa vacation, right?
Yes, we are. We're talking about our Africa vacation, and I don't know. So I guess today we're gonna do a walk down memory lane.
Yes.
But we are gonna have to make it quick because Africa was 3 weeks, and we gotta shove that crap into like 29 minutes.
Yes. Did you set the timer?
I didn't set the timer, but we started exactly at 8:30, like we're 7:30, like we were supposed to.
Okay. Alrighty then. So you have the? I don't know, babe. I don't know what to.
So
press.
what you do is you're gonna go to that button.
Which one?
I'm teaching her how to use the stream deck to change scenes. Yep.
So this guy.
So now shows the screen and it shows a smaller picture of us. Yay! And I can actually make this a little bigger, and then they will see it a little bigger. All right. So this is all off my Facebook because I don't know where these pictures are otherwise. And we'll go through. Obviously, we will try to cover pictures we think are important or we want to talk about, and then we'll kind of skim through the rest. And I have a tab for each album because back when we took this trip, Facebook only allowed, 60 pictures per album?
I don't know.
Well, they only allowed 60 pictures per album, so you might have to lean in also to...
Okay, for the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So our trip was to Tanzania. I think we should start like how it even started.
We talked about that last week.
We did?
We did.
Okay, fine. So watch last week's episode.
Yeah, watch last week's episode. That'll be weird. All right. So our trip to Africa, February 2014.
6 years ago. My gosh.
I know. We need another big trip in our life.
Yeah, but COVID is stopping everything right now.
So this is day one. And we were at the Amsterdam airport when we started taking pictures. So
I took pictures before.
Well,
The
it didn't make it.
Amsterdam
Oh my God. I have a hairline.
You have hair. Forget about hairline.
Look at the difference. That is 6 years. That is, oh my God.
You actually even have hair in this portion right up here.
I know. That's what I said. Hairline. Jeez. Rub it in. Hairlines and fanny packs. That's what we're doing here.
Oh yeah, I did not like that fanny pack, but it was actually very convenient. And now I have a fanny pack of my own. I don't know what that is.
It was there was a museum at the airport, and there was just some of the things we saw at the museum.
Oh my God!
Look at
Babe.
that.
Oh, we did. We did not screen these photos.
No,
What's
we didn't.
next?
Look at that beautiful lady.
I look sleep deprived.
And that was our flight. We were gonna go over the Sahara. I was super excited to see what the Sahara Desert looked like.
Did you see anything?
Very uneventful. I'm just throwing that out. It was super uneventful. It was desert. And more desert. And more desert. Babe, I ain't never seen the same terrain for so long. That portion right there was like maybe 2 or 3 hours of just pure desert.
I don't know. It was definitely a long trip. It was like an 18-hour flight.
It was long. Oh, maybe we'll see some of the Sahara. I think we were still over the water. We did a little bit of water trip. Yeah, this is over the Mediterranean. That is the start of Africa. I took a picture right when we saw land Africa. Like, hey, we are now about to be in Africa. And that's what we saw for the next 3 hours. Just that. I'm like, if you were out here, you were so dead.
Honestly, I had no idea he was taking all these photos. I must have been asleep.
Yeah, like that?
Are you serious? Is this when we were stuck in the airport?
Yeah, this is when we were at the airport. We had a layover in
I forgot where.
Kenya. We had a layover in Kenya airport. And by the way, the Army doesn't let you travel to Kenya, so don't let my boss know. Well, at least back at that time, they didn't allow us to. But I was like, we're just staying in the airport. This is the only way we can get in. All right. So day 2, we took separator pictures, so I know when. So this is now at the Nairobi airport. Someone does look a little tired.
Oh my God! Can we just skip through this? Because we're already like
Hello.
4 minutes in. Oh, is that Mount Kilimanjaro?
I think so. Yeah. As we were flying in, we got a picture of Mount Kilimanjaro. Kilimanjaro International Airport. This is us getting picked up by our tour guide. Here's our first view of local culture. Man, dude, they looking like they living the good life, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now, African women probably have the strongest neck strength ever. Some of those buckets are heavy.
Yes.
So, cool history lesson. The Arusha, I think we were in Arusha, is the town where Rwanda, if you don't know about Rwanda, it was a genocide that happened back in the 90s. They came to Tanzania in Arusha to sign the peace treaty and do all their prosecution of all the war crime personnel. And this is a building that they held all those court trials in.
This is why he's the nerd.
Really? That's not a real elephant. It's a statue of an elephant.
It looks so real though.
Just thought it was really, really cool. It's in the middle of the town square. And this is also a memorial for that the Rwanda thing.
Oh, this is where we stay, Karama Lodge.
Oh, beautiful. By the way, when you go throughout this, understand that I picked everything for this trip. From where we were gonna stay to exactly what we were gonna eat, the things we were gonna do. This is pretty much
your trip?
No, it wasn't my trip. It was my expression of my appreciation for you at that time.
Aww. Okay. But one thing that you need to know about the Karama Lodge is if you left your windows open, the monkeys would come by and steal your stuff.
Yes, very true. Shinier it was, the more likely it was to get stolen. So you had to keep your... So this place had no AC.
Yes, no AC.
Like, it was just like, there are huts. And hopefully we get, like, this is the outside of it.
Yeah.
But this is our hut. And that's a view from our hut. Mm-hmm. It was so nice.
It was.
And by the way, you had to drink bottled water the entire time we were in Tanzania because
the water wasn't. Yeah.
We don't have, as Americans, we're not strong enough to drink African water, so we have to drink out of bottles. I don't think we ever went in the pool.
I did.
Oh yeah, maybe you did. This is us hanging around on the first day. Just it's like an entire resort. So we walked around the grounds. Different than the resort you would know. Like these are like the buildings. They're all handmade out of bamboo and thatch. It's crazy. Really,
this is where we had dinner.
Yeah, really nice dining. This is what Anita wore on our first dinner, at our first dinner in country.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
I had to bring out some, some girly wear.
All right, and that's the end of...
Day 1?
Well, album 1. So this is on our way to our first national park in Tanzania National Park.
So we went there before Serengeti?
Yes. Serengeti was like mid to end portion of the trip.
Okay, so what Travis isn't telling you is that the trip was broken up into 2 parts, and the first half was going to be our safari trip, and the second half was the hike.
Yes. So the safari portion, we were going to go around to all the major national parks in Tanzania, all like within the Arusha area. So there a lot. I mean, I feel like we drove like 4 days out and 3 days back in some of these places. Or it took a big. So this is the first national park we went to. It has I mean, I was taking pictures of things like turtles. Look at that. Africa has turtles just like we do. 2,850 square kilometers. It's a huge national park.
Yeah.
This is an elephant skull. Thought that was really cool.
Babe?
Yeah?
Did you look at these pictures beforehand?
No, absolutely not. Because
Okay,
they're
well.
all up they're all up there for the public. So I just came back from Afghanistan, so I had a lot of military gear, and I'm a cheap ass. So I just wore my military stuff.
Oh, it wasn't about that. I just like wanna, cause right now we're at 10 minutes in, and I don't think.
All right, well, fine. Turkeys or whatever they're called, I don't know. Gazelle.
Yeah. Well, where are the bush people at?
Babe.
Okay, wait. I'm sorry.
So look how thick this tree is.
Oh yeah,
This is the Rafiki tree.
Yes.
Those like super thick trees you see in like the Lion King. These are like one of those trees.
That live forever.
Like, so if you look like up in this area, it gets like flat where all the branches come out, and there's actually a place you could like if you wanted to, but I didn't get up there. Some of the fruit from the tree. Timon. No, is that Pumbaa?
Pumbaa.
That's Pumbaa.
More Pumbas.
Yeah. And this is just dirt on their back with their. They got. I didn't notice how long their hair is. Jesus.
I didn't know he took all these pictures. But the thing with looking at these animals is you see how close they are. It's not zoomed in because we were literally feet away. So that was actually kind of cool.
Yeah, so we're like you'll see a little bit later the vehicle we're in, but we're basically in a Land Rover, like a safari vehicle, like what you would imagine a safari vehicle.
Yeah.
Like sides, the top comes up so you can stand up and you can take pictures. We got a guide, an assistant guide, and a cook for this trip.
Yeah.
That made all of our meals. It was really, really nice and awesome.
Yeah, and secluded.
So this is not in an airplane. This is in the safari vehicle on the side of a cliff. And you could just see some of the terrain that we were driving through. Nothing for... Oh, this is Termite Mound.
Ugh, so huge.
They got so much bigger than that. I was like a little one. So maybe I did zoom in on that one. This is a really good camera, by the way.
That he sold.
I did sell it because I didn't think I'd need it. Shame on me. Ostriches.
Which are very fast.
There's Timon's.
Can we skip past Timon's?
Yeah, okay. We're skipping past. Anita wants to rush us. I mean, I did put part 1 in the description, by the way.
Oh, you put part 1?
I did put a part 1.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, since you put a part 1 then, because you was like, because we went on this trip for 21 days. So I'm like, oh, we're going to go through thousands. And he took a lot of pictures, as you can see. Some of these pictures.
Yeah, but I didn't upload all the pictures.
What?
I didn't.
Wait, so where are all the pictures?
I don't know.
Awesome. Probably with that person who bought the camera.
No, because cameras like that don't have storage on them. It's all on the hard drives. So I probably check one of my hard drives. So this is our first like real look at elephants.
Oh my gosh. Remember when we stayed at that one camp and you just heard screaming because an elephant came into the camp area. It was so huge. But all he wanted was some water.
So I thought this is a really cool picture. Like here, we can make ourselves smaller so people can actually see that. That is a really awesome picture.
He was just so big and he can't. You know what's really thing for such a heavy animal? He was really quiet coming in.
Mm-hmm. Could you refresh that?
Sure. Baby, you gonna watch me refresh it? You asked me to refresh it.
Baby elephant.
What do you want? You want me to pull up our thing right here?
That one.
This one? All right. Oh yeah, the baby elephant.
It's a riverbed. How they get shade, you know?
Yeah, because it is hot in Africa, like OMG hot. So
someone liked it. I think that maybe I
So, a quick tidbit, or I guess I don't know. A quick thing that you should probably know about me is I do not wear makeup in the summertime. Well, I usually don't really wear makeup. I'm wearing makeup now, but for our whole entire Africa trip, I did not wear any makeup at all, which I'm sure I'll try.
And everybody thought she was a local national. Baby, you look Tanzanian.
I look Tanzanian. Thank you.
That's what everyone else thought.
Whatever.
They're like, are you from here? I was like, no, man, I ain't trying to steal a woman from your country. I don't know, like...
Zebras.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. And they really do make that... I don't know how to make that sound. Like, it's like, these little bastards.
Oh, man. But they trying to like climb up on the
Yeah, so this is on our way back. We're back at the entrance to it. So there's like a little welcome hut and everything, and these guys are all on like the picnic tables.
Oh yeah, they were everywhere. I do remember them being on the picnic tables.
Yeah, and that was our first album.
Oh, yes.
So this is the third day.
It's day 3 when you hurt yourself?
Day 2 or 3. I don't know.
It says Africa Part 3.
Yeah. So
right here where we at is where people that live in the bush.
Yeah. So if you didn't know, like Africans are the same as everyone else, right? They got city folks, they got country folks, but these guys are bush folks or nomads. Like they don't settle, like they build their houses every day and they travel with the herds of animals throughout the year. Mm-hmm. So
this year is the chief, and he was like what, 19?
They don't know. They don't have ages.
But he was pretty young.
He was. So in this particular bush tribe, like they, the chief of the tribe is the one that can provide the most food. Not the oldest, not the strongest, but the best hunter.
Yes.
So they just came back from the hunt. We had an additional guide because they don't speak normal Swahili.
Yeah, that's right.
So we needed to hire an additional guide in addition to our normal guide to do the translating for us. And we hung out with them for 2 days.
Yes.
So
1.5 days.
The original idea was for us to go there, learn how to hunt, learn how to forage, learn how to live like bushmen.
Yes.
Right? And I thought that was amazing. I was like, I'm gonna fucking be a man.
And of course, Dainty Anita here did not think that was amazing. You see, he has his kill on him. He had just killed a bird.
So one of the first things they showed us how to do was, but I don't think I got to try the bow. Yeah, I don't think I got to. But you sure did. Yeah. Look at you. You cocked it all sideways. What is it? You gangster bow and arrow?
Yep, gangster bow.
And then this is later in the afternoon where we went out with 2 of the bushmen, 2 of the tribe members to go forage. We were going on a foraging trip.
Oh my God, you guys don't. So, yeah, we're going to get there.
This is the type of stuff we went through. That crap is thorny. It is very prickly and pointy and sticky. So I forget what they're doing here. I think they were fixing one of their sandals. One of this guy's sandals break, so they have to make all this stuff. One of his stuff broke.
Babe, seriously?
What?
Can you?
I love the way you look.
Thank you. Can we get to another photo?
Nope, we're gonna stay right here.
Babe, we only got 12 minutes left.
I don't care. Look at that beautiful face.
Thank you, babe.
So, Bushman number 1 identifies.
Bushman number 1.
I don't know I forget his name, but Bushman number 1 identifies that there is food down in the creek bed, and through the translation, we find out that we're about to go forage for some.
What is it? The honey?
Honey. Yes, it is the honey. So this is the riverbed. hadn't rained in a couple days, so it was dry. So I think they do this on purpose, right? They like when they get tourists to come in because they do all the work for them. Because they hacked it a couple times and handed the knife to me. And I was like, oh, and I was all about it too. I didn't care. Yeah, I just wanted to be like,
he wanted to do everything. He wanted to live like how they lived. I would have been just happy in the hotel.
So we cut down the tree log. They show us what to look for. Like right here, you can start seeing the opening and some of the webbing. And then when you crack it open with their handmade knife, you see all the honey and the hive that's in there
and bugs.
And the bugs, yeah. And there's Anita's.
That's my sample.
That was Anita's sample that she ate.
I didn't eat that bug though.
With a little flavor inside.
No,
got a little flavor.
I
right
did not
there.
eat that bug. Okay, I was just they would.
Oh man, look at this! Yeah. They're going to town.
They were totally going to town, right? And it's like offensive if you don't like do what they do. So they're like, and they're like, then they like give it to you so that you could get some too. So my little, I'm like, oh, bugs and all, right? Because you can see the bugs in there.
It's protein, babe. It's protein. You get your sugars, you got your carbs, and you got your protein, all in one sitting. Yep, that's. You remember? Here, look. Let's go back a couple. That's what was there.
And now all the honey is gone.
That's what's left.
Nothing.
So, so after that, they were showing us how to find water in tree roots.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, this is easy. So this is what we were looking for, these little bulbs. And then you cut them open, you eat the inside, and it's very wet inside. So that's a lot of water. That's where they store it. That's Anita's sample. And me and my chunk, but it was very bitter. Very bitter taste to it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not like I'm not playing along, but I'm just playing along very little.
That's called minimum standard.
I was totally minimum standard with the Bush people.
So here's my attempt to go and try to find one myself. I had found one and I went to cut it out. And in an attempt to cut it out, I cut myself.
You didn't cut yourself, babe. He stabbed himself.
I did.
Okay? It's like he had this huge like hunter's knife and he's like dinging away at the vine, and I don't know, he like slipped and slit his ankle.
Yep. And, right where you see.
And it was a good slit too, because all of a sudden it slid through his pants and everything, and you just see like all this blood gushing out. And I'm like, Travis, you cut yourself. And he's all calm and cool. He's like, huh? Oh yeah, I did cut myself. There's a first aid kit in my backpack. So we went to get the first aid kit, and he makes the mistake. He's like looks down, he sees it is bleeding like pretty profusely, and he makes the mistake and tries to seclude the bleeding by holding it.
Yeah, applying pressure 2 inches above the wound. I knew everything I was doing.
Yeah, but his head was not above his heart. So, do you want to tell this part, babe?
I passed out.
He fainted. Okay.
I passed. Don't say I fainted.
You fainted. Okay, he passed out. He passed out, and thank God I was there, because all these Bush people was just like putting tissue on top of where it's bleeding, and it was just soaking up the tissue like right away. And I was like, oh my God. And so my first thing was like, we need to tourniquet this. And I tried to get his belt off, but I couldn't get it off. And then, not surprisingly, but thank God, he was actually wearing a cravat around his neck. if you saw in the previous photos, because it was so hot, he was like kind of wearing it on his head and around his neck or whatever. So we took that off of him, and then they were gonna tie that on his wound. And I said no, and I said go right above it, and I was like tight as possible. And they did that, and then he kind of came to, and then he was like, "Oh, what happened?" I was like, "You effing passed out, man," because I was so scared.
I wasn't.
Yeah, he wasn't. He was totally like chill pill, cool dude. He's like, well, what are you guys doing for? I got a camera over there. Take pictures. And that's so one of our guys took this photo. So at this point, our trip with the Bushmen had gotten cut short because then we had to
for that day.
Yeah, for that day.
This is day one.
Yeah, so we had to.
So, just so you know, the next couple of photos are graphic because I have them taking pictures of what the wound looks like, what happened. So we end up traveling about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, maybe close to 2. I can't remember. Yeah. I don't know. Anita was super scared. I was like, man, I'm fucking tired. And she's like, you can't go to sleep. You can't. Don't close your eyes. I was like, I don't think it's that bad.
Because he passed out. So I
may have passed out because I'm being a little bitch.
But he was passed out for a while. I think you were passed out for like maybe a couple minutes.
Well, I didn't know that. Either way,
so when they tied it really tight, that's when it kind of stopped bleeding.
So we traveled to like some missionary outposts.
Yeah.
And here's how you know the United States medical system is all types of jacked up. Mm-hmm. I got a penicillin shot, stitches.
Yep. Like they did surgery on his foot.
Yep. And a pair of flip-flops to wear for the rest of the day.
And painkillers for afterwards.
Yep. For $11.
$11 US. What was it? 11? It was $11 US, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because we asked the guy, I was like, hey man, how much does this cost?
I was for certain that we was just about to spend the rest of our money at this hospital. I was like, oh God, we're going to the hospital. That's it. All our spending money is over.
So I'm going to get through this. Oh, it wasn't too bad. Look. It's like, this is legit medical treatment. Mm-hmm. Like, they got gloves. They doing stitches.
It was pretty deep.
So, I was not about to let some stitches, a cut, and some blood loss stop me from going on this vacation. So later that day, I was like, all right, man, what's next on the list? What can we do in lieu of going out? Because we were supposed to go hunting with them that night.
What?
We were supposed to go hunting bamboo with them.
Oh, I did not know that. I was not going to be hunting no damn baboons. Thank God you cut yourself.
Yeah, we were supposed to. So in lieu of going to hunt,
you was trying to get me killed.
I was trying to test my future wife. So in lieu of going out to that, we went to a local blacksmith that same day. So this is a little girl. I think this is a blacksmith's daughter. And I mean, I think we can talk about their relationships, African relationships, a little bit later. Okay. But there is a very distinct difference between the ones that live in the city and the ones that live in the country and the ones that live out in the bush.
Yes.
There is very distinct differences between those.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the guy that lives in the bush, like the chief's the one having relations with all the women, and then everyone raises village kids. Mm-hmm. Like, out in the country, it's like one man can have 5 wives. He can have as many wives as he can provide for, and they all don't care. Then, like...
No, but they did also, like, they would trade... The women would be worth, like a certain amount of cows and stuff. I remember at that one other village that we went to.
Yeah.
Remember that one village where the flies was just like all.
Yeah. So this is all the stuff they were making and showed us how to. This is me with my bandaged leg and my walking stick. This kid had no underwear on. That's bare ass on Anita's lap. Super gross. So showing us how to make arrowheads out of nails. So it's pretty cool. This is Anita stoking the fire, learning how to heat it up to melt down blocks. Yeah. We were melting down blocks. I think this is the last album we'll go through, and then we'll go through the other ones next week.
Okay.
And then they put Anita to work.
Oh yeah, and this, like, can you go back? I don't know. You could tell how tall that is. Like, that is inside their house.
Yes, this is inside the house.
It's made out of clay, right? And
I can't stand up inside this thing, but we take a picture on the outside of the house.
Oh yeah, we do. And I can't stand up inside of it either.
So this is them showing Anita how to make bread or flour. And man.
And you see, that's a rock I'm holding.
Yeah,
it's a rock grinding,
and then
with another rock.
They put it on the bag, and then they put the bag in there, and that's it. Yeah, but this is the hut on the outside.
Yeah.
And it's made with poop.
Yep.
And it's made with poop so that termites don't eat it. Termites don't like poop, so they don't eat it. Oh, I'm sorry. My mom texted me. I'm not gonna put my watch down.
I didn't. Sorry.
So,
sorry, Mom.
So just understand that African huts are made with poop to prevent termites. And I mean, it didn't smell.
No, it didn't. No. I think the only thing about it is, like, if you saw the inside, like, there was no beds. You saw, like, you sleep on the floor. It's
very practical. Like it's like remember they.
Well, I don't even think there was a light either.
No, there's no electricity. Like where's the pole?
Oops, I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to offend anybody's culture.
No, it's just very practical. You build your house and you put everything inside what you need. You can't spend like 4 extra days like putting a bed in there, building a cabinet, and because that wastes time that could be better spent doing other things.
Yeah. I guess I could understand why it was the height it was.
Yeah.
Because they don't have ladders or anything like that, so you build it as tall as you are.
Oh. And I said before we had a cook, right?
Yeah.
So every meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner was made by our cook and was ready for us by the time we got back to our tent. This whole safari was just me and Anita.
Yeah.
It was our safari, our personal guide through Tanzania, national parks, and all the sightseeing stuff. Excuse me. So with that, we had 3 people, our guide, assistant guide, and our cook. And then we hired an additional guide when we had to do things like the Bushman, and we needed the additional guide to get us through those specific areas. But this food and the cook was phenomenal.
Yeah, that cook was like we stayed in a tent you saw a hotel, but once we started going on a safari trip, it was tents from that point forward. So it was really cool to see all the stuff that he was able to whip up with us living from the outside. It was actually absolutely delicious.
And it was very customizable. And you'd be like, yeah, I'm not feeling this right now. Could I just get more soup? And they'd be like, sure. And they just go and whip up some more soup. And I thought it was really awesome.
Yeah, it was really delicious. It was a really good trip.
How many more pictures are in this one?
Yep.
No,
that was
and that is it. So that is part 1 of our trip.
Africa trip.
Yes, our trip. Our journey of falling in love with each other.
You're so cute. What?
Yeah, I mean, look at the podcast title. When do you know you love someone? Part 1.
Well, is that when you knew? Oh, you knew at the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk about it in part 2.
I kind of knew already. You don't spend this much money on a trip and not know
Yes, that trip, it did cost a lot of money. I think my only regret for Africa is he did ask me if I wanted to go to Zanzibar.
But it's fine. We'll
All
talk
right,
about it later.
Yeah, sorry. That's all the time we have, so we're going to go to
All
our
right.
sponsor spot.
All right, so you got to click the sponsor spot.
Babe, I clicked sponsor spot.
I know. Okay. We are a self-sponsored channel by ourselves. So if you like what you see, you can always go out and support us at Swan Creative Studio. I would like to say we now have our shop up and running. Not the world's prettiest shop, but it is a shop nonetheless. And you can get your pendants, some cool merchandise, or, oh, look at these cool little bunnies.
What do you mean, not the world's most prettiest shop? Are you down in our shop? Shop?
Babe, it's my sponsor spot. Look at these cute little bunnies. And remember, we can make these in any color that you want. If you want anything customizable, make sure you click the get in touch with us link. And make sure you check us out on Facebook. Mom! Make sure you check us out on Facebook and stop by our Instagram to hit us with a follow as well.
Yeah, sorry, I had to come back up. I was laying back.
And that is today's show. If you like what you see, make sure you give it a thumbs up, click the subscribe button, and blah, 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 blah.
Yes, and we will see you next week, Sunday, 7:30 Central Standard Time, right here on our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Hope you're staying safe out there. Remember to wash your hands and quit buying all the damn toilet paper. That's all I got.